Hello and welcome. Welcome to my studio in Ewley. It's rather chilly outside. It's very, very damp, but it's toasty and warm in here. So I'm happy to be in here. Now, today I've been looking at illustration and how we can make illustration our own. There's so many lovely illustrations and illustrators out there, and they all have their own ways of pulling ideas together. So what I wanted to do was to kind of deconstruct something that was in a photographic form and play with those ideas and just to kind of take the pen for a wander and take the colour for a wander. So what we're trying to do is play. I know, it's great, isn't it? It's nice to have the opportunity to play. So this is the outcome. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to just kind of show you close up. We have pencil, then pen, and then I would normally use acrylic inks, but what I'm using are the pack that I've given to you all. So I've used the acrylic paints and watered them down so that they're in some areas stronger than others. So for instance, this purple here is exactly the same as that purple there, but it's just really watered down. So you can just get different values in terms of your colour. You'll see that some areas I've left without any colour on there, and that's to use the white as a colour. Also some white up here. Now, what I'm going to do is just put this down. I'm going to just leave it to the side up there, and I'm going to show you how I deconstructed it. So I took this beautiful little fella. He's a blue jay. And the reason I took him was that there's a real simplicity of form, but it's interesting. So we've got a nice strong beak, nice kind of bit of detail here, the way the crown comes away into this lovely featheriness, lovely big eye, and just kind of simplicity in these forms, which will allow us an opportunity to play with design, to play with colour, and that's what we're going to do. So what I did was I drew out with a pen or pencil, doesn't matter which you want to use, but if you use pencil first, that's fine, but then you can go on top of it with your pen and then use your eraser to rub out any of the lines. So what I've done here is, if I move them both down here, it's kind of useful being able to see them both together, I think. So I've literally done a line drawing, and what I've done is I've segmented areas. So where the white area is there, white area here, this dark area here for the kind of Payne's grey, charcoal grey that there is on the bird, and something up here. So what that's going to allow me to do then is, and I started playing with the pencil first of all, simply because I wanted to kind of work it out, and I'm the kind of person that likes to think about things in my head and then take them onto the paper and play with them. So you'll see on here, this is the same drawing. So what I've done is I've drawn and then photographed them at each stage, and then I've printed them out so that I can talk you through it. And those of you that come to my groups, I'll be sending you these on email so you can look at them in your own time as well. So you'll see here I decided to kind of play with the kind of featheriness, and I've divided it into two sections because I thought, you see, now I'm not going for the original blue jay as you would have seen, because that's the original, and I'm just wanting to have some fun. I'm not trying to do a blue jay. He's gorgeous and beautiful as he is. I just want to play. So what I've done then is, as I said, break it up. So I've got two different feather types going on here. I've got some nice big ones and I've got some smaller ones. So then taking the pen into it, and I have gone for something that is different on both, because if I'd done it all the same, it may have just felt a little bit flat. So you can see here I've done a kind of pointy leaf. Now, just to say that I've started this off at the top. It's almost, I suppose, like the opposite of tiling a roof, where you'd start your tiles at the bottom and move to the top. This way you're starting at the top and moving down like that, so that you can build that kind of layering of feathers on top of there. If I hold it close enough, you can see. And I didn't want it too dense, so I thought, okay, well, how about I'll do just this on the one side and leave the other side free, because what I'm trying to do is to try and give something that's interesting on the eye, and so that your eye can kind of move over it and it's playful on there, so that it all just isn't homogeneous, so that you've got a lot of difference on there. So moving on from that, then what did I do? Okay, so I thought, okay, so the wing could do with, wait till I just put this down here so I can hold it better. Okay, so the wing, I thought just something which kind of denotes the roundness of it. So I've just done a kind of, it's just like a spiral type of thing along there to give it the feeling of those long wingspan feathers. So from that, moving on, put them down here to this fella, and he's really starting to take shape now. So moving on from here, so you know how I was talking about values and depth of tone and depth of color, so that it's not just all, you see, if I put my finger across there, it's all just a bit samey, whereas once you've got this kind of dark area in here, it gives it a bit more contrast. So taking it up here, you can see it's got a really kind of very light kind of feathery strokes to it, and I've carried that all the way from here through here in the same way that it was in the original kind of photograph here, just so that I'm using that to inform what I'm doing on here, even though I'm changing it hugely. But there are some elements to that I am finding really useful. So as you see, all I've done after this one is just moved into the head and just had to play there, and just using different mark making, so little kind of little spots on the top, different mark making, different places. You can see underneath that I've used the pencil and then gone on top, because it helps me to work things out. Okie dokie, and into the last one of the pen. Now this video is going to cover you for 2 weeks, because if we were together as we would normally be, you would do the drawing 1 week and then the painting the following week. So this will be kind of 2 videos in one. So that's exactly the same, except I've just added something a bit quirky. I wanted to have something on top of the eyebrows that kind of indicated a kind of, what would you say, just a bit of elegance maybe, or gesture. Yeah, so like he's raising his eyebrows, so it just gives it just something a bit fun there. Okay, so that would be week 1, taking it to that stage. And then week 2, I mean, in some ways you'd say, oh, but it's just like colouring in. And yeah, I can't argue with that. However, it's your design, it's illustration, and it's just about playing with what colours you like. So what I've started to do here, let's see, can I get the light a little bit better on that one? Oops. Forward slightly. There we go. Yeah, just getting the colours where I want to use them, and then building up. I have to say, when I was doing this, I found it very absorbing. It's not the kind of thing that I would normally do, but I am very aware of how popular colouring in books are. And although in the past you'd kind of, I suppose people who work in visuals would kind of maybe not value them quite so highly, they really have their place because they are very absorbing. So this is something that you can do. I mean, if you want to, you can photocopy your pen drawing, and then you can use colouring pencils or whatever you like. You know, if you wanted to have something just to play with as well as, and then you could kind of try various different methods of making to produce kind of variants along a theme. So here, what have I done? I've just used the ink as well on here in a way where it's you can see the kind of ink lines on there. So you can either have it flat so that it's all exactly the same depth of color, or you can play by having it kind of slightly weaker first and then using the paint a little bit stronger, dipping into the stronger color and then tipping at it, in which way and that's how you end up getting this kind of fluid line. So moving on from that one and kind of finishing up here. Now the other thing about this one, when I was talking about using the colour in different ways, so just two things. We have an orange here, and that's really diluted, and that's quite a bit stronger there, and it's kind of mid-range there. So what you have is the one colour but used in various different ways. And again, the purple, that's this colour purple, and then that's it where it is just watered down, really watered down. That's it in its purest form, and that's it with a bit of black mixed into it again to give that feeling of the area underneath. And I've also used the kind of purple wash along here to give it a bit of depth. So that's just the photocopy of that one. And then, because you can see, obviously the colours are a lot flatter. So in real life, you know, the colours are great, really great. And although if we had the acrylic inks, we would use them. That this is it has worked really well. I'm really happy with it. So just a little thing in terms of eyes and faces. When you do your eye, try and make sure that you have one area, or I've got two little areas there where there's a little bit of white, because it tends to show the eye as being alive. It has kind of, it shows it as being wet, and that there's a kind of focus to the eye. So don't be afraid to leave a little bit of white on there somewhere. Okay, there we go. There's my not a blue jay bird. I don't know what we call him. Anyway, answers on a postcard. Hey, okay, that's it. Shortest video ever. And I hope you have fun. As I said, I'll put these on the email that I send you, the link for this on. And have fun, stay safe, look after yourselves, and get creative. Okay, see you soon. Whoops. Bye-bye.